the silent playboy. And this type of guy is not very common, okay? And when I say silent, let us make a clear distinction, guys. I am not talking about a guy that is weird and awkward when I say silent, because a lot of guys go to the default of the stereotypical creepy quiet guy that looks like he might shoot up the place, okay? I'm not talking about that type of quiet guy. I'm not talking about the type of guy that's creepy, that looks like he might have some questionable pictures on his laptop, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy that is naturally, notice that I said naturally, introverted. These type of videos are for guys that are naturally introverted. No knock on my guys that are extroverted, because they do numbers too. They have a place in society, and they have their strengths as well, okay? The strengths of a person that is extroverted is that he might have more connections. He's gonna have more of a circle, you know, he's gonna have more of a following, so to speak. But with that, the drawbacks of that is all those people that are with him, most of them are bullshitting, right? So the guy that is extroverted, he's gonna attract a lot of people, but as we all know, most people, unfortunately, do not always have your best interest, and most people are not really friends. They're just associates from a distance, okay? They are just there for the moment because they might see the extrovert as someone to hang out with, or he might have connections, okay? The introverted playboy is a guy who is charismatic, who does have charm, but is more reserved, okay? Now, the thing with the silent playboy is obviously he has physical sex appeal, right? He has more of a physical presence. And when I say physical, not necessarily a muscular guy, right? Even though that is a great addition to be fit, right? If you guys know my channel, you know that's what I talk about all day, every day, okay? I don't know if I said it in the beginning of the video, but add my Instagram, titanfitnessbytarik. Link is in the description if you need one-on-one coaching. Anyway, so the guy who is fit, right? The guy who is, or silent rather, who is more introverted, he has this physical presence, and this is his way of gaining that attraction from young ladies, right? Because the way that he operates is that the young ladies see him. See, a lot of guys don't realize that women see you way before you see them, okay? They peeped you out, and shout out Rom Wills. I have to give credit where credit is due. He has talked about this, and he is absolutely correct. Women peep you out from a distance. They saw you already. They looked at the way you walk. They looked at the way you maneuver. They looked at the way you look, the way you carry yourself, okay? So they already done made an assessment. They made a judgment about you just by observation. Women are extremely observant, okay? They are extremely observant. They are masters of observation. They will look at you from a distance like a damn, if you guys remember that Aaliyah song, but I've been watching you like a hawk in the sky. You guys remember that song from Aaliyah if you're old as fuck like me, okay? But I think the song was, man, was it, I Need Somebody? Put it in the comment section. It's called something like that, from Aaliyah, rest in peace. And it perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Women watch you from a distance, and they like what, if you have a physical presence to you, like I said, a combination of the way you carry yourself and a fit physique, a nice lean physique, or whatever their preference is. They're like a more stockier guy, whatever works for you. They're gonna be peeping you from a distance, so they already saw you. They like what they see, especially if you carry yourself in a more confident manner. Yes, the old cliche, just be confident, bro. Yep, I'm pulling that number out. Just be confident, bro. It is real. It is something that is real, okay? Now, a lot of guys that are inexperienced or that are incels, whatever you want to call them, whatever little adjective that you want to call them, always talk shit about this whole just be confident. But to be quite honest, those type of guys they don't have much experience with women. So of course they're going to think it's bullshit. You know what I mean? Of course they're going to think it's BS because they don't have much experience with women. So they're automatically going to think it's bullshit, that it's just confidence. And the thing about it is, even if you are attractive, right? Even if you are attractive, if you have a nice physique, you are still going to have to talk at some point. You can't just show up and just be a fucking mute on the date, or if you invited her to your crib or whatever the case is. If you think you're just gonna show up there and just be completely mute the whole time, I got another thing. You know, I have some news for you, man. You know, I got some unfortunate news for you. So, you know, you still have to have that confidence, and they see that by the way that you walk, by the way that you move. They're gonna watch how you interact with other people. They're gonna watch how you talk to other people, right? They're gonna watch how other men interact with you. They're gonna see if other men respect you, stuff like that. Now, I might be being super hyperbolic, and I might be being a little on the extreme side, but yes, they do look at things like that. They do look at particular things like that. So your body language is like 70% of language. As a matter of fact, a lot of times your body language is going to speak more than your words. Okay. Even with that being said, even with me saying that you're still going to have to talk at some point, your body language is going to talk for the majority of the time, right? Is gonna speak volumes, and she's gonna like what she sees. And this is where women are gonna flow into their natural sort of feminine type of nature with you, right? In the sense that they are going. Now, we've all heard before on these spaces that the man is the hunter, right? That the man is the hunter. And what this means is it's the man's job to go up and talk to the chick and all that good stuff. And hey, look, if the mood strikes, I've had instances where I walked up to a chick and I've talked to her and it was successful, right? I've had those moments where I was the first one to engage. Of course, obviously, okay? Especially if you are attractive and she likes what she sees and you have a little bit of charisma, it is what it is. Whether she saw you or you saw her first, the attraction is there. But by you being like this more silent type, she is gonna feel more comfortable in sort of throwing you those infamous choosing signals, right? Now, whether you guys know this or not, women choose you first, okay? Women choose you first. You might think that you choose them first, but it's really the other way around. So by you being kind of introverted, you let them kind of do their thing with choosing you first. Now, the way a woman chooses and the way a man chooses or flirts or whatever you want to call it is different. Of course, with men, it's more direct. Of course, with men, it's more head on, more, you know, animalistic. We're just going to straight up walk up and be like, hey, how are you? That type of stuff, right? Now, how women choose is they're going to be kind of passive about it, right? If they see that you're silent, if they see that you know, you're sexually attractive, they're going to be curious, they're going to be wondering about you, you're going to let their imagination run wild. That is the advantage of being on a more introverted side. Their imagination is gonna run wild. They'll be like, what does this guy do? What is he like? What is his whole shtick? What does he like doing? And for introverted men, this comes natural, right? This comes natural. You don't have to think about it. You don't really have to think about it. All right. And they're going to be thinking, man, you know, what does this guy do? I wonder how he acts. I wonder what his interests are. And that's going to spark up even more interest to the point where she's going to start throwing you signals. And hell, even though men are direct, sometimes women are somewhat direct too. They might just get next to you and throw you a vicious ass smile, right? Just be blatant, just give you a big old smile, like, come and talk to me. And by that, it's even better, okay? It's even better if the woman chooses you first. It's always better if the woman chooses you first. Now, there have been many debates, there have been many arguments, and there have been many sort of controversial perspectives about this from personal experience. That is quite facts. That is the case. When a woman chooses you, there's the attraction, just the sexual attention is so much better, as opposed to if you go out of your way and you quote unquote chase. And with you being introverted, this is going to happen way more easier. She's going to feel more comfortable going up to you, especially if you have a calm demeanor. You got a calm demeanor, you know, your shirt's fitting you right. If you're on a job, you got a nice fitting shirt, you're clean cut. She's going to see that. And you know, she's going to want, believe it or not, guys, women want, and don't let any of them fool you now. Don't let any of them fool you. Women want to be the ones that get your attention, right? They're the ones that want to get your attention. They're the ones that want you to notice them, right? They want that validation from you. And a lot of guys are like, yeah, women only want validation and stuff like that. Yes, there are some females out there that chase validation and attention. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about women that are truly interested, okay? And believe it or not, women want to chase, okay? This is gonna shock a lot of you guys, and a lot of chicks might even come on here and argue, but trust and believe. When a woman chases you, the relationship is gonna be that much more better. You know, your interaction is gonna be that much better, because it's in a woman's nature to be more emotional with that whole, hey, notice me, and hey, show me love and all that good stuff, as opposed to when a guy does it, he's constantly texting, he's constantly being like, hey, look at me, pay me attention. That's kind of like, ugh. And a lot of guys, no knock on my introverts, like I said, but back to the whole introvert thing, a lot of guys that are introverted, they talk a fuck ton, okay? They are extremely verbose. They just talk and talk. And part of being masculine, right? Not to get in this whole alpha, you know, oh, you must do this to be alpha. I'm not that type of channel. But in general, a man is going to be the one that is more silent, okay? In general, not saying that you have to sit there and look like a freaking mannequin, right? But as a man, you are the one that is a little more silent. Women love to vent. They love to talk. They love to just talk and talk. If you grew up with female siblings, you know this. They love to just talk on the phone. If you ever seen them, they love to talk on the phone. They love to vent. They love to talk about their day, all of that good stuff, okay? So it's just natural that you are on the more silent type. Not saying that, like I said, I'm not saying that you get with her and you just sit there like a fucking log chilling in the middle of a pond, okay? Not saying that at all. Of course, there's a back and forth. Of course, there's a charisma component, but for the most part, she's the one that's going to be talking. So right off the bat, the whole interaction started with you being in a more natural state. And these type of guys, the silent playboys, they be killing it on the low, right? They be killing it on the low. They make a move on a chick and people don't even really know it, right? People don't even really know it because they know this guy to be silent. They know this guy to be quiet. All in the meantime, this guy is bagging chicks, okay? He's bagging the shorties. He's bagging the baddies. And people are like, damn, him? Joe Schmo, the one that never says shit? Yes, him, okay? So anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace.